Okay, this is Mrs. Ash's 4th grade science. We did conservation. I did a See, Think, Wonder on the book The Womp World. And The Womp World is about a colony of creatures called the Womps. The Womps live simple, peaceful lives, and one day some of the monsters from a place 1,000,000 miles away came to their Womp World and tore the Womp World up where they were pollutants. And we did a web out here on the wall. This is the web we did. The Womp World web. Okay, this is the Womp World, and this is where we had did major events of the story, and there's that's the DOK1, and that was the concept of conservation. After reading the book Womp World using the flow chart, and this was our flow chart and our web there. Now, number 2 we did, can't read it. Alright, we had students make connection of each step in the conservation process. Help reserve the earth with the graphic organizer. We had a couple graphic organizers here. Then over on number 3 we had, which we didn't get to finish, we didn't get started, but anyway, we did a DOK3 with hypothesizing process of recycling, and we orally discussed what I wanted to do was to make a flip book. So we didn't get that done. However, we watched a video on conservation, on recycling glass and plastic, and discussion on that. And that is it.
This is 4th grade reading sequence mastery matrix. The first activity was sequencing the story of My Brother Martin. Each group was given a page of the story and asked to pick the most significant event, and then randomly students had to come up and place their cards in the correct sequence. That was a DOK1. DOK2 was the plot chart for the same story, My Brother Martin. I'm sorry, this was for Pink and Say, a story that we read that related to My Brother Martin, because we tied in the Civil War and Civil Rights Movement, how the two were similar, and how one event in a timeline of history led to another. At the end of our activity, we did a timeline of pertinent events in African American history, and the students had to place the index cards on the correct year and justify their placement, knowing that Martin Luther King couldn't have been assassinated before he gave his civil rights speech, and so on. Before we read Pink and Say, the students did a See, Think, Wonder. Each student was given a different page of the book. This process alone is a sequencing activity in the thinking process. First, you physically see with the eyes, then you think, then you ask questions. After they looked at the picture and came up with their See, Think, Wonder questions, we sequence the story based on the pictures alone. Where did we think the pictures fell based on our inferences? This was a DOK 3. This was look at the timeline of Martin Luther King's life and think about the climate of the times and hypothesize what next 3 events would have happened if he had not been assassinated. Overall, the students did okay, but a lot of the DOK 3 activities, they complained that it was difficult, and I explained to them that it was supposed to be, that this was higher level thinking activities. There wasn't an exact right or wrong answer, that they needed to analyze, explain, apply. This is 4th grade math, Mastery Matrix on sequencing. What were the activities that you did, Mrs. Fluharty?
For LOC 1, we gave them examples of the 3 different ways to do problems and had them match to the word, such as traditional, lattice, or partial product to solve division problems. For LOC 2, we actually had them do the 3 different problems, solve the 3 different problems in the 3 different ways. And then for LOC 3, we had them solve all of the problems and pick their favorite, tell us whether it worked no matter what method you used, so that they would see that it didn't matter. They just had to find a method that worked for them. And then we also had kids explain the methods in words as our LOC 3, which is the blue.
So after this activity, are the kids showing improvement on their multiplication skills?
Some of them.
Fourth grade, social studies, mastery matrix. Mr. Leap, what was it that you did for this sequencing activity?
And we're going from a raw material to a finished product to the consumer's hand.
What was it that you actually created?
The first step, okay, one, they just copied out of the book. The steps of making it was a softball bat, wooden softball bat. They copied down the steps. Fairly easy.
Okay.
Second steps, they had to list in order the steps going from the tree to the baseball factory. They just all knew. I didn't tell me anything. I said there's a tree.
Okay.
Cut it down. And they had to say that they had to cut the tree down and ship it truck it to the factory and cut it into boards.
Do something that they pick.
And DOK 3, they had to make a
Flow chart?
flow chart. Had to make a flow chart telling how the bat went from the factory to the store. Then they had to explain if the price at the store was the same price that they at the factory charged the store. And tell why would it be different if it was different. They had to mention that the store has to make money. They can't sell it for the same price. That they can't, not for the same cost, what they cost them. This is a unit on economics.
Did most of the students do well with the activity?
A lot of them, some of them didn't get this last part. They left it off.
So the higher level thinking for some
Higher
was
level thinking,
difficult.
Yeah, difficult.